Hello, and welcome back to your favorite podcast,
De-Influenced. We are back.
We're back in the States. Did you miss us? Because we miss you.
So big news coming off of last week.
Yeah, the episode was kind of a hit. I wonder if our numbers are up there. I feel like I haven't really talked about it enough on my stories, but that episode was kind of fire.
It was kind of fire. I mean, I've never listened to it and I never will, but I think that it was fire because some of the comments on Spotify were pretty fire. They said,
pretty fire.
This was one
we
of the...
sound like such old parents that are trying to be cool.
Well, it wasn't mid.
Okay. No cap.
This was one of the richest conversations of your podcast. I loved Jordan's choice and vote for more of his choices. Amazing podcast.
Well,
loved it. Long-time listener. First-time commenter. One more. That was about Freemasons. We'll get to that. I am now a devoted follower of De-Influence because of this episode. So many tangible takeaways, but still relatable and fun. That was my vision.
Good. I'm so happy. So why don't you pick another person?
I do. I have 7.
Okay. Who's your top 3?
I really want to get Jonathan Haidt on the podcast.
Who's that?
He's the one who wrote The Anxious Generation. We've talked about it a lot.
Okay.
That one's going to be big. And how cool is it for us to represent social media and for him to tear us down or tear down social media and talk about its dangers and what it's doing to kids?
Yeah.
I think it'll be a really interesting conversation.
I love that.
The other person we met up with your friend Allison, our friend Allison in London. Her dad is the president of Toyota.
No big deal.
No big deal. President, COO.
But he's also the best person ever. And that whenever your daughter she cannot say enough great things about her dad. She's like, my dad is the most amazing person. He's she just raves about her dad. And that's when you know.
He's amazing. I met him at a party probably 2 years ago when it was that era of COVID where you just couldn't do anything right as a public figure or a brand. Everything was so polarized.
Yeah.
And he was navigating the marketing for Toyota during that time. And he had such interesting insights into what was really happening, in corporate boardrooms and why we would see all of our brands just kind of virtue signaling left and right. And he has really interesting insights into that. And I think before the next election, it'd be really interesting to talk to him.
And he's a Christian too.
Yeah, he's a Christian.
Which would be really cool.
So he's my
Christians doing business. Don't you just love it?
I love it. I love it. So anyway.
Okay, so Jonathan Haidt, Mr. Hollis. What is his first name? Jack Hollis. Such a strong name. Jack is just such a good name.
It's such a good name.
Who else? Brandon Fugel.
Would love to have Brandon Fugel on.
Okay.
I have some ideas for maybe this episode. People I want to call on the Freemason conversation. If they don't pick up the phone, then I have a whole other episode where I want to bring a pastor and that guy that we met at the church who was a Freemason.
Yeah.
And then maybe a high-ranking Freemason. Let's
honestly,
set up a conversation.
They can't talk about these things. They can't tell you much.
No,
I'm serious. They'll get kicked out.
We can get it out of them.
They'll get kicked out.
We got Daisy to admit some info that got cut from the podcast, unfortunately.
This is true.
But we got it out of her.
Well, I know you didn't ask, but do you want to know who I want on the podcast?
Yes, of course. Sorry, I was just gloating in my win. That was really rude of me.
So I've had this recent fascination with, obviously I always have had a fascination with these people, but I've been diving deeper into female entrepreneurs slash influencer founded businesses.
I love it.
So I would love to have people like Mariana Hewitt from Summer Fridays. We already had Isabel, Maureen from Tarte, and just go maybe Jamie Kern-Lima. Is it Jamie? Yeah, Jamie Kern-Lima from It Cosmetics sold her company to L'Oreal for $1.2 billion when they wouldn't even let her onto, they didn't want her on QVC or any of these platforms because they told her that she wasn't pretty enough and that she looked a certain way and no one was going to buy makeup from her. And then she sold her company for $1.2 billion. People like that, females like that, I think would be so interesting.
Amber
Benz Box from, I'm kind of moving into my business era.
Yeah.
I'm you know what I mean?
What's so funny is I feel like you've actually been here for a while, but I feel like you're kind of owning it as your own.
So you're saying you're not enjoying my content.
No, you would go there.
Tell us about London.
Well, how did you feel about London? That was like kind of your second time?
Yes, I am obsessed with London. I love how everyone is so proper. I like that there's a lot of history. And the countryside was amazing.
Are you glad that we didn't go to Amsterdam?
No, I wouldn't say I'm glad that we didn't go. I would still love to go. Jojo is there.
You know what's so funny is that
Jojo Fletcher's there.
I don't know about you, but I was worried about leaving our kids for a week. Like I genuinely was worried. I was like, man, am I going to be there in day 4? Like feel really guilty. We FaceTimed our kids every day. I thought you and I had a blast. Like we committed to the adventure together. We had so much fun. I don't think that we really let like work pressure seep into the trip much.
Yeah.
I had a great time. I would do that like once a year and not feel bad about it.
Because we really haven't taken a trip like that since we had kids.
No.
Or even kind of since we got married. We did go on that one brand trip with Amaryllis.
But I don't think we had Cell yet.
Oh yeah, you're right.
No.
Oh my gosh, we weren't even parents at that
time.
Yeah,
we go on like short little work trips, but we never gone like on an intentional, this is our anniversary, like this is about us and our marriage trip since we had kids.
Yeah, you're right. What was your favorite part?
You know, it's more of like a general thing, but like it was fun to kind of like reconnect and rekindle like our spirit of adventure together, like outside of our kids. Like, because we used to do that all the time before we had kids. Like that was what was so fun about that era.
Yeah.
And, you know, after having kids, it's like, oh man, like, will we ever get to like go on adventures and stuff like that again? And so it was just really fun for that to...
We were like obsessed with history while we were there. Like literally
gosh.
we would get into bed and we would just chat GPT like all the facts about World War II or like all these like the royal family. Like we were just, it's kind of lame. Like we were just like learning the entire time.
Yeah. I was so over history. Like we were in the Tower of London, which was like that.
By
prison.
The last day we were over it.
I was so over it. I was like, I don't care. I was like, okay, this is great. I got to get out of here. At a certain
point you like learned so much and it was like, okay, we have to go.
Yeah. We did a lot of history, but how about going to Sleep No More?
Okay. So yeah, we did Sleep No More in New York.
We did it. We have to give like a pretty intensive review of this because we built it up so much.
Yeah.
How did you feel about it?
I think I told people on stories that I gave it like a 6 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Like definitely something I would do, but honestly you can't anymore because it's closing down in like June. So, or go before June. But so for those of y'all who don't know, Sleep No More is this interactive like dancing play experience. It's like a show, but you're actually interacting with the characters. So you walk through a hotel and the hotel is like set like a hotel, right, babe? Or is it?
It's
or a house.
No, it's a hotel.
It's a hotel.
Yeah.
And the characters actually are walking around, roaming around the house. It's a lot of like lyrical dancing, interpretive dancing. And you can follow around each character and each one has their own storyline that they are performing. So each time you go through, like you could experience a different show each time just based on what characters you follow. It's pretty chaotic because the characters like are running around, dancing around. So like you have to like chase, like you're like winded, like you're running around.
And the people in there too, there's probably like 100 people in there with you and they're like throwing bows.
They are like aggressive. Like there was like one time where I like literally felt like I was on the basketball court. I was like, get off of me. Like I elbowed her back. Like I was like, stop.
You're like, I want to see him.
I'm like, no. And at first I was just being pushed around. And then I was like, no, I'm going to defend myself. Do not push me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so so it was like so interesting and so cool. There was only one scene where we saw some boobie. But it was
I saw a boob.
You saw a boob. But I would say it's supposed to be like artsy. It's not like, you know.
Almost saw a pee-pee.
No, but I don't think we did.
I knew what was about to happen.
I don't think he took his pants off.
No, he for sure was taking his pants off.
I don't think so.
And I was like, hey, let's go to a different room. It was that.
But we stayed for the booby shot.
That one character with the beard.
You didn't leave for the booby shot.
Kept getting naked.
You hear this? He didn't leave for the booby shot, but then you made me leave for the pee-pee shot.
I wasn't trying to stay for the booby shot. She just kind of pulled her boob out, and then I was like, okay, what do I do? Like, I don't want to be weird about this.
She took her top off.
That's what I'm saying. But like I didn't see both of her boobs. I saw a boob from the side.
Yeah, they were like, it was like not like a, anyway, we won't talk about her boobs. They were great. So yeah, we did that. It was cool. My only thing was it was a retelling of the story of Macbeth. And I did not follow anything. I have no idea what happened that entire play. Like the storyline was so hard to follow. There's no talking. It's all dancing. It truly made no sense. But the scene at the very end where they're all sitting at the dining room table is so epic. Like it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
It really is like from I keep calling it a medium, like a format for storytelling. So cool. I think we agreed on the 6 out of 10. I just did not like the dancing. I was like, can y'all say something? Like, give me something to like understand the story.
I forgot the craziest part about Sleep No More. Oh yes. My gosh. Okay.
This is actually crazy.
This is crazy. So we go to Sleep No More, and when we walked there, so we were like so hot when we got to the building, and it's really like as soon as you enter, they take you, it almost feels like you're walking through this haunted house, and they have these characters come and greet you, and I'm like dying, like I'm sweating my face off. And so we get to finally go sit down where they have like live music, and it's kind of feels like feels kind of a little burlesque-y, but there's no dancers or anything. And you sit down and have a drink until they call your number. So it's so dark in there, y'all. You cannot see a thing. Like I am shocked that I did not trip and fall and hurt myself because it's like a lot of walking. We finally sit down, like pitch black almost. And I look to my right and I'm like, that girl looks so familiar. That looks like Cody Sanchez, but like what? There's just no way. Like she lives in Austin. Like why would she be here? It's such a small world. And I'm like, I'm not even going to say anything because it's so ridiculous that I would think that. Like I'm not even going to bring it up to Jordan.
Who's Cody Sanchez, by the way?
So Cody Sanchez is a she a podcaster? She's she's a business personality.
Yeah, like her whole thing is like she's big on Twitter. I think we talked
Jordan's like obsessed with her, not as a person, but as like what she shares, her content.
Yeah, she's kind of like in the cool kids club of Twitter, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like she's very like cool.
She covers like
she buys a lot of businesses is what she does.
She buys businesses?
Yeah, she buys, like, honestly, she talks a lot about buying laundromats and like cash flowing them. And like, that's her whole thing is she like teaches people how to buy businesses and then live off the cash flow of the businesses they own.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. So anyway, we met her one time in Austin at this event, and Jordan was like fangirling so hard. I had to like go and introduce him to Cody Sanchez. Super nice. Anyway, so like 5 minutes go on, and Jordan starts eyeing her too. And he's like, babe, that's Cody Sanchez. I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought the same exact thing, but we still cannot even really see her. It's like so dark. So finally we say hi. It is Cody Sanchez. She's there with her friend and her friend's mom. She had come in for some like work event, come to New York, was flying back to Austin like the next day. We sat directly next to her, and there were hundreds of people there. Like it was just wild.
It was crazy.
But it was cool because she was familiar with Sleep No More. She gave us like tips and tricks, and so we got to talk to her for a little bit. Hi, shout out to Cody Sanchez. We love you.
Yeah, I would say I'm going to skip around a little bit, like giving Sleep No More 6 out of 10. Now, Hadestown, which we saw in London.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Jordan cried twice.
I cried twice.
Truly.
I did it silently. No one knew.
He didn't tell me until the next day.
You wouldn't have known if I wouldn't have told you. But yeah, I was like, like when you're about to cry and you get that like lump in your throat.
See, it's funny because I loved Hadestown, but I didn't like, it would probably go in top 10 for me, not even top 5.
Babe, I think that's heresy. Like, I really think it's absolutely.
It really is amazing, but it's like, if you've seen Wicked or Lion King or Book of Mormon or any of these other shows, like it's, to me, it does not even compare, but it's top 10 for sure.
See, my new ranking of Broadway shows for anyone who cares.
You've seen...
I gave it 10 minutes to process the show after I walked out. Okay. And then I have like there's a couple girls on the Divvy team that they tell me all the Broadway shows to see. Okay. And I officially told them my new list. Number 1, Hadestown. Number 2, a play that you're not supposed to talk about, but called Book of Mormon.
It's a really good show.
It's a really good show. Number 3 is MJ, and number 4 is Hamilton. Chicago is like 300 on my list.
He did not like Chicago.
We took Bridget and Mike to Chicago, and I wanted to show them Broadway, and it was just
Yeah, they'd never been to like a Broadway show, right? That lived in New York.
I know.
Yeah, so I thought it was good, but it wasn't like the best thing I've ever seen. But it was very good. Before we move on to our next segment, I want to give a shout out to Claritin for supporting this episode and providing us with samples. We're back in Texas with our babies and with our seasonal allergies, which is why I'm so grateful for Claritin D. Also, were my allergies not so bad in New York?
I know.
I was sneezing.
You're sneezy.
I was like so frustrated. Allergies can make everyday tasks a challenge. So imagine what it can do when you're also jet lagged. From the stuffy nose, itchy throat to watering eyes, it's never fun. Luckily for those of us who live with the symptoms of allergies, we can live Claritin Clear with Claritin D. Designed for serious allergy concerns, Claritin D has 2 powerful ingredients in just 1 pill that relieve your allergy symptoms and decongest your nose so you can breathe better. This double action combination of prescription strength allergy medicine and the best decongestant available relieves sneezing, a runny nose, itchy and watery eyes, and itchy nose and throat and sinus congestion and pressure with ease. Claritin D has helped ease my allergy symptoms and allowed me to function as I normally would without the seasonal allergy discomfort or drowsiness, which being a working mom is a huge win. Fast and powerful relief is just a quick trip away. Ask for Claritin D at your local pharmacy counter. You don't even need a prescription. Go to Claritin.com right now for a discount so you can live Claritin Clear. Use as directed. So yeah, we did that. We went to the Meta event in New York, which was interesting, which like I don't understand. Like everybody on our team is like, don't talk about it, but they didn't share anything like that. Crazy.
What can I say? Our team takes NDA seriously.
Yeah, well, they're the ones that
looked. We're like, bad. These are meant to be broken.
Well, I just have to say, like, everybody at the Instagram event, like, was posting that they were there, but then, like, everybody on my team was like, do not post. And I was like, well, they're posting. Why can't I? So I didn't. Well, I did, and then I deleted it because I was scared.
You know what I would risk?
Because one person we don't want to piss off is Meta. Yeah. That would be bad.
They're like, nah, you have your whole livelihood on this platform. Bye.
Bye.
You know, what I will break the NDA and say though.
Ugh, we're getting in so much trouble. Okay, say it.
No.
Oh, say it. I know it's good. Meta, this is helpful for you.
Adam?
Yeah, Moseri.
Coolest
Amazing.
guy. Coolest guy ever.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
I mean,
that walkout song.
Dude, so cool. Good. Very tall.
Yeah.
Very tall. But if I were to think of myself as a CEO, it's like, that's who I want to be.
Totally.
He's cool. He's like, yeah, I got the weight of the world on my shoulders, but like, I'm just kind of the face. Like my team's the smart people.
You know what I love too is like whenever people ask, because they actually opened up a Q&A, which I am so mad I didn't get to ask him a question because I have so many questions now I want to ask him. Yeah. But whenever there was a question about like, something that maybe Meta is not doing that other platforms or whatever, he like totally owned it. He's like, yeah, we need to be better about that.
Yeah.
I was just like, I loved it. He was so real. He's like, yeah, I've noticed that. We need to be better about that. And honestly, we need to hurry up because we're like losing time. Yeah. I was like, thank you for just accepting that. It was really encouraging. The people that we met were amazing. All types of creators. It really makes you like, it broadens your horizons. Like you see how many different types of creators out there and like you realize our bubble on the internet is so small.
It was kind of overwhelming if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I mean, and honestly, most of them were super young.
Yeah, we were like the old farts in the room.
Yeah, they were like content creators that I was like, you'll do anything for this. And I was like, man, I don't know if I have that gas that you have.
But we did. Back in the day.
I know. That's what also, I'm saying. It's like, it's kind of the
Jordan,
new.
We totally do have that gas. Like maybe not compared to what we used to, but like we flew to like New York for that event. Most people would not do that.
Right. But these were vibey people.
Yeah.
Like I was like, you are a character.
Yeah, they were like out of movies.
They were out of movies. I was like, like
the way we were dressed,
or the Sims.
we were like the ones that stuck out because like we were dressed like normal.
Yeah, so normal.
Like so normal.
But you said a lot of like your YouTube day events. Oh, it
reminded me so much of like VidCon or you have to be unique.
Yeah. I was like, man, you guys are the next era of Hollywood.
Yeah. So flew to London. That flight was like not bad because I slept the whole time. 6-hour flight from New York to London. So it was 10 hours on the way back since we flew from London to Dallas. It made me feel like I could do this with kids.
I know.
Which makes me feel like we should move to London.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's talk to our whole team, you know?
So when we got to London, we did St. Paul's Cathedral. We did Westminster Abbey. We had some tour guides, which, tour guides are so great because you learn so much, but it's so hard because you also have to entertain this third party.
It's true.
And I just sometimes wanted to be with you, or I just didn't want to be talking to anyone, but I didn't want to be rude. Like, you know me, I cannot be rude to anybody. I cannot. If they're there, I have to be talking to them. I have to be fully engaged. But like, it was so hard for me. And so the third day we did cancel our tour guide. They were great though. Like Lucy, heart, like love her. There's nothing on them. It's just a lot of energy you have to put out.
Well, and I think the challenge with like having a tour guide versus like going at your own pace is you'll never be able to fully communicate like what you are interested in learning about versus what you're not.
Because
like,
you can't stop them and be like, don't care, move on.
Yeah. That's
it's like a pivotal moment in history.
That's so rude. And they're like telling me about like the style of the architecture, which is
that
like,
was interesting.
Which is cool, but like they go into very fine detail.
Gothic,
you know, like here's where they got the stone, where they ordered it from, and here was the conflict in ordering the stone. And I was like, okay,
yeah.
So it's just hard to kind of calibrate what you want to know and what you don't.
Did you see? I got in so much trouble by some of like my. I don't know if I would call them haters because maybe they were my followers that were just really disappointed in me. When we FaceTimed Stella in St. Paul's Cathedral.
Oh, everyone was doing that.
I know. Well, people were very upset. They thought it was very disrespectful that I did that.
Well, we had to show Stella the princess.
No, it was Jesus I was calling her about. I FaceTimed and showed her Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, sorry that I want to show my daughter like Jesus on the other side of the world.
It's so interesting
what
for
a horrible
someone to get mad
you
about
are.
that when literally everyone is walking through this church with their iPhones out, you know, like filming. I don't understand.
No, it was, according to some of my people, it was very disrespectful.
Really?
But I will say they didn't say not to have phones. The only place you couldn't have phones is when we went upstairs. Remember?
Yes.
We took the stairs up there because well,
you did that anyway too.
But I didn't post it.
It's like the whispering. It's the whispering gallery, and Dani's like, "Hey Stella, we gotta whisper." No, I'm kidding.
I did not FaceTime
I know
her.
you were kidding.
I pulled out my phone and held it against my chest.
Yeah,
but I didn't post any of those.
He caught you though. He goes, "Ma'am, mom."
Okay, now you're just calling me out. This is true. Yeah. But no, we did FaceTime Stella, and you know what? I would do it again.
I mean, we told her, we told Stella that we were going on a castle tour, and we told her we were in a castle, and she was like, "Where's the prince?" It was the cutest thing ever.
She's like, "Where's the princess?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but there's Jesus."
Yeah.
And she was like, her eyes were like this big. So yeah, we did London. One of my best friends, Allison, we talked about Jack Hollis, her dad, president of Toyota. She was there studying. She's doing like an interior design program there. So she showed us around. She knew the cool places to go. We went to Hadestown. We went back to, we were staying at a hotel called Claridge's. Oh my gosh, my favorite hotel I've ever stayed at. Winston Churchill stayed there. Back during when a lot of people were evacuating during World War II, there, a lot of the like sheikhs and like kings and queens from other countries would come and stay at Claridge's. And when they would call to get a hold of them, they would call the reception and say, "Hey, can I talk to the king?" And they would be like, "Which one?" Because every single room had like a different king or queen. Like, so there's so much history at this place. And so one night we went back and had like a drink at the bar, and we had high tea there. It was just
Tom.
We saw Tom Hanks. Tell them about that.
Yeah, so we're walking. I'm sorry, I'm having to like rethink this because no, we definitely saw Tom Hanks. I was so tired that I was like, maybe I hallucinated, but no, it was for sure Tom Hanks.
Support for D-Influence comes from LMNT. As y'all know, I'm back to my morning workouts and running with my friend Ellie, so staying hydrated throughout the day is so important. This is why I chose to hydrate with LMNT. LMNT is a zero-sugar electrolyte drink mix born from the growing body of research revealing the optimal health outcomes occur at sodium levels 2 to 3 times government recommendations. LMNT is formulated for anyone on a mission to restore health through hydration and is perfectly suited for athletes, folks who are fasting, or those following keto, low-carb, whole food, or paleo diets. And LMNT has just debuted their new LMNT Sparkling, which delivers the same zero-sugar, caffeine-free electrolyte formulation you already know and trust, now in a bold 16-ounce can of sparkling water, which is great for making mocktails or cocktails. LMNT helps me stay hydrated while I work on being my strongest self. The best mom to my kids and a great businesswoman. Right now, LMNT is offering a free sample pack with any drink purchase. That's 8 single serving packets free with any Element order. This is a great way to try all 8 flavors of share Element with a salty friend. Get yours at drinkelement.com/deinfluence. Go to drinkelement.com/deinfluence. And if you're an Element insider, you have first access to Element Sparkling, a bold 16-ounce can of sparkling electrolyte water. Just so you guys know, Element is spelt LMNT. Okay. Besides staying hydrated, another huge part of making sure I'm doing my best to live a healthy, happy lifestyle is taking supplements. One small life change can have big benefits, like how taking care of your gut can support whole body health. So I want to shout out the gut supplement I love and trust, Seed, for supporting not only my gut health, but de-influence. Seed's DSO1 was developed in collaboration with Seed's scientific board and based on their foundational work in probiotics and the microbiome. With new clinical trials and breakthrough research published in top scientific journals, Seed's probiotic research, development, and innovation programs make DSO1 a product you know you can trust, and you all know how picky I am about my supplements and vitamins. I've been taking Seed for so long, and I absolutely love it, and so does Tornado. Seed's patented capsule and capsule design means fragile bacteria can survive the journey from shipping to your door to where it works best in your body. Trust your gut with Seed's DSO1 Daily Symbiotic. Go to seed.com/deinfluence and use code 25DINFLUENCE to get 25% off your first month. That's 25% off your first month of Seed's DSO1 Daily Symbiotic at seed.com/deinfluence. Code 25DINFLUENCED. He's filming a play there.
He's filming a play there. But yeah, we walked by him and
he was staying on our floor.
Yeah, we don't say anything to him or anything, but it was kind of a crazy moment that we're staying on the same floor as Tom Hanks. But here's what I will say. The amount of people who are not on Tom Hanks's side within your DMs is crazy.
Because he's in the Illuminati?
I made a slight joke about him being in the Illuminati, which like when you talk about the Illuminati and the Epstein stuff and all this stuff, there's like a couple key people that come up a lot.
Is the Illuminati connected to Epstein?
No, sorry. 2 separate things that allegedly Tom Hanks did bad.
Okay.
So whenever you're talking about like Epstein stuff, it's like he got caught up in this whirlwind of like, it's like Tom Hanks, Bill Gates, like all these people. Anyway, I make a slight joke about, we can't talk to him. He's in the Illuminati. And at the time I was genuinely kidding, but like people were like, boom, 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 boom. Like, yes. He's disgusting.
Well, because he became a Greek
this.
citizen during all that.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. That was weird.
That was weird.
That was a weird one.
Huh.
Yeah. So, but I think that for me, it was enlightening because I say things like this all the time on the podcast in my own little echo chamber, but I was shocked at how many other people responded both to the Freemason stuff and to Tom Hanks.
Okay, first of all, I want to talk about the Freemason thing because, Tom Hanks being in the Illuminati, who knows? We'll never know. Maybe we will know one day, but like, I don't want to start that rumor. We don't know. The Freemasons, we met a Freemason at St. Paul's Cathedral, and we had a good conversation with him. This is a nice, young Christian man. His wife was the sweetest person I've ever met. People in my DMs are convinced that the Freemasons are devil worshippers. Why? Because of some of the satanic rituals they do. Now, before we go on, rituals don't always have to be satanic. Maybe they're not based in Christianity, but just because they're a ritual, that doesn't mean you're devil worshiping. For example, I was in the sorority Chi Omega. I cannot tell you the things that we did are... Babe, you actually have to take that out. You have to take that out. No, you literally have to take that out.
Just bleep it. Just bleep it. Just bleep it. It's fine. But you
have to take that out.
Okay, fine. Just bleep it, and then we'll move on here. But let me just say...
You just destroyed sisterhood.
Okay, but listen. We will bleep out what I said, but you are sitting here saying some of rituals are not satanic. Meanwhile, what they did was beep.
It was not satanic.
Okay.
You think that what they did to me was?
I'm just saying, like, if I was an outsider looking in, I'd be like, this is some pretty weird stuff.
Okay.
Also, it was symbols of Chi Omega. What is it? The owl?
Yeah.
Isn't that what's at the... Bohemian Grove, the big giant owl that worked like the ball thing, BAAL.
Okay, you caught me there. But listen, some of these things are just done Okay, I have nothing to say.
I'm just saying, okay, here, let me help you. What I'm saying is that this is how people from the outside looking in do perceive things and are like, this is satanic.
But now I need to read this.
She's like, did I participate in satanic rituals at Chi Omega at the University of Texas at Austin? All these Reddit forums are like, yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Well,
you know what? I told you I had a surprise for the podcast.
Hold on. Our history. Founded in 1895 at the University of Arkansas, Chi Omega is the largest women's fraternal organization in the world with over 411,000 initiates. Blah, 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 blah. Throughout Chi Omega's long and proud history, the fraternity has brought its members unequaled opportunities for personal growth and development. Da, 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 da.
You want me to just ask ChatGPT if Chi Omega is satanic?
Yeah, will you please?
Yeah.
Our founders.
New model. ChatGPT 4.0. You used it? It's pretty wild.
No, I use Iris.
Okay, hold on just a second. Is Chi O giving satanic vibes?
Like, oh wait, I forgot. You know what our symbol is? You're gonna die.
Any misconceptions
Jordan,
about Greek organizations being satanic?
Our symbol, I forgot to tell you this, was a skull and cross and bones. That was our thing, was a skull. But it was so ugly we decided to use the owl.
Okay, the official answer is any misconceptions about Greek organizations being satanic are typically based on misunderstandings of their rituals and symbolism, which are usually designed to foster a sense of community and shared purpose among
we all
members.
had to do it. It was like a thing.
I told you I had a surprise guest for this podcast.
Wait, hold on. Chi Omega's symbol is the owl, a bird of wisdom, which reminds the membership of their responsibility to strive for knowledge and understanding throughout life.
What is the satanic symbol for an owl?
Chi Omega's crest was adopted in 1902. Centered on the crest is the white carnation with the Chi to the left and the Omega to the right of the flower. Above these symbols are both the skull and crossbones and the owl. Beneath the carnation are the 5 letters Rho, Beta, Upsilon, Eta, and Sigma. A laurel wreath used by ancient Greeks to honor scholars and heroes surrounds all of the emblems known and loved by Chi Omegas.
You know why you also can't be trusted? Because your grandfather was the most high-ranking Freemason that you can be. What is it, 31st degree or something like that?
33rd degree Mason.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't like when people talk bad about the Freemasons.
You know, honestly, this whole time, everyone's been
But my
accusing
grandfather
me of
also
being
wasn't around
Illuminati.
much.
Yeah, being Illuminati. And this whole time, Dani's actually the Hollywood plant that's Illuminati worshiping owls.
No, it was a very
kidding.
prestigious thing. And the thing that I want to say about the Freemasons, it's probably very similar to being like in a sorority fraternity. You do all these things. It's more for like the brotherhood or the sisterhood. It's a lot of rituals that are just based on tradition, not actually like what you believe in, I would say. You know, the owl, it's like we strive for wisdom. That's a great thing. Our foundation that we supported was Make-A-Wish. That was like Kyo's thing. Like there's a lot of great things that we did all together to like benefit society. But the rituals do bring you closer. Now, the one thing that I think can get confusing in these organizations is when you are like invited to be in Kaio, it does not matter what religion you are. They do not care about religion. So if one person is a Satan worshiper and the other person's a Christian, well, now you just got one Satan worshiper bringing everybody, the whole organization down. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that everybody was like that way. But one of the greatest things about the Freemasons, he said, was that they didn't care about religion. They let everyone from different backgrounds, because then it becomes a cult. If everybody believes in the same exact thing and you're all doing the same, then you're just kind of, it gives cult-like vibes. But the great thing about the Freemasons is everybody comes from different backgrounds, different beliefs, but they all are working together on a united front to accomplish one thing. His biggest thing that he was into, this guy that we met at St. Paul's Cathedral, what did he say he was doing? It was like helping children with like speech impediments or something.
Yeah, I think
so. Like they're all, that's what his philanthropy was.
Right.
But, and like, I think it's a beautiful thing.
Before I tell you about my surprise.
Is somebody coming here?
No. But I have a really good surprise.
The introvert in me is like, please no.
Okay. So what I will acknowledge is that to be a part of something like Kaio.
You're just upset because you weren't in a fraternity.
No, it's true. All of my problems in life come down to two things. I didn't play sports and I wasn't in a fraternity.
All the things that like make you a team.
But I represent a large swath of people who...
the GDIs.
The GDIs. Who
the gosh darn independents.
Who feel that they need to create a narrative, fair or unfair, against you guys because you left us out of your, Greek parties and cut us out at the door and all these, whatever.
So you're saying it happened?
Yeah, it happened. So, but what I'm saying truly is that to be a part of an organization that is probably like harmless, like let's say for the sake of this conversation, Freemasons or Chi Omega or Tom Hanks and the Illuminati, and for the public to just basically pick apart all these symbols and then accuse you of being a Satanist, that's hard.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing. And I will also say before I announce my surprise, Kaios were definitely the girls that you wanted to marry. It was known. It was a known fact. I was scared to walk by the building. I was like, you guys are all so good looking and cool. Like, I'm sorry, I can't be here. So my surprise is we met, will you tell the story one more time?
Which one?
Who did we meet at, in what, where
so
were
we were at St. Paul's Cathedral.
No, Westminster Abbey.
No.
Yeah.
Were we? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the Gothic one. Yeah. I'm so sorry. I've been telling this story wrong the whole time.
It's okay.
So embarrassing.
It's okay.
We are at Westminster Abbey. I remember because the architecture was more Gothic.
Very good.
We were in line going to look at one of the Mary's tombs. And her sister, that's where like the term Bloody Mary came from. But honestly, I wasn't really listening to the tour guide. I was so like over it. But there was something to Bloody Mary. Anyway. And so I made a comment about the church and I go, wow, this is really different than our churches back home. We would never like have a tomb of someone buried, and we would never have these like people, basically right. These monuments like put up in our churches to worship people. Like we just never do that. And the guy behind me goes, yeah, no kidding. He's like, our churches back home are very different. And I'm like, oh, an American. Yes. Like, yeah. And so then we see his ring. How did you know he was a Freemason? Did you see his ring first?
Yeah, it was the same symbol that was on the building outside of our window in New York City that was like Masonic Lodge or whatever.
Yes.
And so then we start talking. His name is Spencer. And I was like, hey, what's this ring?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm a Mason. Do you know what that is? And I was like,
you're like, do we?
Like, do I?
I don't think we told him that my grandfather was 33rd.
No. So anyway, we start talking to this guy. I ask a bunch of questions. I'm like, so is this like a cult thing? I was like, a lot of people think you guys are pretty adjacent to the Illuminati. And he laughed and he told me Shaquille O'Neal's a Mason and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway.
It's true. Shaquille O'Neal is.
Let me not tell any more of this story because I have a surprise for you. You disappeared in Westminster Abbey and I went and found Spencer again and I got his phone number.
You're going to call him?
Texted him before this podcast.
He's not going to tell us anything.
Oh, he'll tell us everything.
No, he's not allowed to. He'll get kicked out. No. The same thing with Kyle. That's what I'm going to make you edit that part out. Like I would get in big trouble. I can't tell you that.
Do not edit out. Bleep it. Bleep it. It's funnier if you bleep it. Okay. Listen. Let me call Spencer. So Spencer, our FreeMason
contact. I did ask Spencer
contact.
to show me the secret handshake. He said he wouldn't.
Well, that was good of him.
Hello?
Hi, Spencer.
Hi, Jordan. How are you?
This is Jordan from Westminster Abbey.
Hey, how are you?
Listen.
Spencer, are you back home?
Yeah, we got home actually the day before yesterday.
So did we. Are you jet lagged?
I was a little bit, yeah. I'm starting to feel better today.
Same. Good.
So Spencer, you're live on the podcast, and here's the situation, is that we promised our audience, as the journalist that we are, we promised our audience that if we ever met someone from the Illuminati or the Freemasons, we would dial them into the podcast and just clear the air, let's call it. So I would love for you to tell us about how you got into the Freemasons and what being a Freemason means to you.
Yeah, so starting off with like how I got into it, I'm sure a lot of people have like seen Curse of Oak Island or National Treasure. So that's kind of where I found like what a Masonic symbol was. And then I was actually at work one day and one of my friends had a Masonic ring on. I was like, well, are you Freemason? He's like, yeah. I said, well, what's it all about? Kind of like how you guys are asking now. He's like, well, why don't you come to one of our breakfasts? So they do pancake breakfasts once a month for charity, where all that money gets donated that we raise. So
did you feel weird at all after eating the pancakes?
No, nothing special in the pancakes.
Okay, got it.
No secret recipe. Right? So did that a few times and then decided it was something I wanted to look into. So I'd asked him, I said, hey, what do I need to do to become a Freemason? And that's where you just need to kind of hang around for 6 months and do what they call prospecting. So you go to meetings, you don't actually sit in the meetings, but you go, you have dinner, you hang out with everybody for a little bit before dinner and kind of show that this is something that you want to do for 6 months. And then you get voted in. And then once you get voted in, you go through a process of like rituals and kind of memory work until you become a Master Mason. And then as far as what it means for me, I think I told you I was in the military. So a lot of it for me is about brotherhood and the opportunity to still serve. Being in the service, you get out and you're like, okay, well, now what? And you kind of lose a piece of yourself because, you're kind of only looking after yourself at that point. So for me, service and brotherhood was something I was really missing in my life. And for me, that's a big part of what Freemasonry is. Gosh,
dang, that's so sweet. I can't, how can you hate that? Did Dani ever she didn't tell you this?
Well, can I tell you this?
Yeah.
First of all, Spencer, thank you for your service. Second of all, my grandfather was a 33rd degree Mason.
Oh, wow.
Thanks.
That's very cool. I'm a 32nd degree, so that's awesome. You actually, in order to get that 33rd degree, you have to, it's not something you can just get. You have to be recognized for your work towards your fellow man and your brothers. So that means your grandfather put in a lot of work, and it was very well noticed.
Thank
you. So, okay. So let's get to the juice here. People, we're in a conspiracy culture. We really are. Right. I told you, I don't know if I told you this, but we saw Tom Hanks on the 4th floor of our hotel. He was staying on our floor.
Yeah, you did.
And man,
he's told everybody.
The comments we got back was like, people are truly convinced that this guy is wrapped up in some really bad stuff, like the Illuminati and things like that. So I think that people attack the Freemasons in the same way that they attack the Illuminati, right? Do you get those accusations ever?
No, I don't think that I ever have, honestly. I think
really?
People see the good that we do, and the millions of dollars that we donate. I think maybe the Illuminati get that rap a little bit more because there's no visibility into the good that they do, if any, right? They're more of, and not saying that Illuminati exists or something, but there's definitely upper echelon of people who communicate and deal with each other that make way more money than any of us ever could. And, to say that there's not a group of those people doing that, I think we'd be wrong, right?
Yeah. You do think that there is an Illuminati out there, probably?
Something to an extent of, maybe not a formed organization, but there's definitely a group of people who are looking out for each other's interests at the top 1%.
For sure. How many people are in the Freemasons? Is it like exclusive, or if like I called you back after this and was like, hey,
Jordan's interested.
Anybody who wants to that's a male can join the Freemasons, who's over the age of 21, who hasn't been convicted of any serious crimes or who's a felon or anything to that extent. So there's 6 million Freemasons worldwide. So it is the largest fraternity out there. And most of your college fraternities get actually all of their secret rituals from the Freemasons. In fact, we host a lot of fraternities at our temple because it's a really cool building. It's over 100 years old. So we actually bring a lot of fraternities through there as well.
Yeah, Spencer, I was never in a fraternity. It's one of my biggest regrets in life. We were just talking about Dani and her participation in a lot of the sorority rituals. You're telling me that all of her sorority rituals trickled down from you guys at the Freemasons.
I mean, we were the original first fraternity out there. So a lot of the same rituals that they go through, or kind of the way that they're set up, are taking a lot of it from Freemasonry.
Wow.
I do have one question. Is it true that the Catholic Church forbids people from being Freemasons?
It is true. It's been that way for a really long time, back to like the 13th century with, I think his name is King Louis and Pope, I forget his name, but they'd actually kind of put it back together to get rid of Freemasonry because essentially the Pope owed the Freemasons a ton of money, and the French kind of went up against them and kind of expelled all of them. So since then it's been forbidden for a Catholic to be a Freemason.
Wow.
That's just because we allow any religion to be a Freemason, and they don't really like that. They kind of have that whole thing, if you're not Catholic, you're doomed.
Yeah.
And we don't believe in that.
I think one thing that we've learned from several tour guides in London is that the church, the Catholic Church, is they've had a long history of power dynamics and things like that. So that would make sense just historically. Okay, are you, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but are you, do you participate in any type of faith? Like, are you a Christian, anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm a Christian. We go to church every Sunday, me and my wife. I grew up kind of in the faith, and for me, it's just, I think it'd be a lonely world without faith, in my personal opinion.
Has there been anything in the Freemason rituals or anything about participating in the organization that has like rubbed you the wrong way as a Christian?
No, not at all. I mean, you have to be tolerant, right? You can't be a complete Christian to the point where you don't believe in any other faiths coexisting. I think if you had that belief, you might get rubbed the wrong way, because a lot of our teachings are to be accepting of other religions. We have, there's 32 degrees that you can take, and a lot of them do have to do with lessons that we've learned from other religions. So, no, not at all. I mean, you do have to believe in a higher power to be a Freemason, and it's just because a lot of our rituals are about, spiritual aspects that wouldn't make sense without a figure of God.
Yeah. Who are some major historical
Winston
figures?
Churchill.
Winston Churchill was a Freemason?
Winston Churchill and George Washington.
Is that true?
Yeah, Winston Churchill, George Washington. I mean, three of the founding fathers were Freemasons. So, Benjamin Franklin. I mean, a lot of people are Freemasons, which is great. And it used to be a lot more popular than it is today. I mean, if you went back to the 1940s through 60s, I mean, 9 out of 10 men were Freemasons back then.
Yeah.
It was just, it was almost like a social club back then. Almost everybody did it because it was very popular.
Yeah.
Spencer, we really appreciate you. Let me ask you one last question. What is the biggest misconception about Freemasons that you want to clear up here on the podcast?
I would say that everything's secretive. It's not really a secret thing. It's an integrity thing. Any of the secrets that you want to go find out there, you can Google on the internet about Freemasons, but we're not going to tell you that because it's an integrity thing, not a secret. You can go out and get all of that out there. Got it. Nothing that we're doing is per se secret, even though to us it is.
Yeah. Man. Well, hey, we appreciate you. Dani, do you have any other questions?
No. Thank you so much, Spencer.
Tell your wife we said hi.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Have me on the show. You guys take care.
Okay, we'll talk later. Bye. Sweet baby.
What a sweet baby.
I love it. I want to be a Freemason.
You can't. They said men only. That's a hard PR thing for them. Let me tell you. They really want to open it up.
It's okay. I don't really.
Yeah, you had Kaio.
I'm already taken by the Kaios. The
Wow,
Megas.
that was interesting.
I think a lot of times, like maybe some of these organizations that were founded so long ago, like maybe the heart of it, whether it was satanic or not, like I don't know, but if it's not rooted in faith, it's going to become something that's not worshiping God.
Right.
Which everything that isn't worshiping God is somewhat satanic. Like Satan is going to trickle into all of that, especially if it's not pointed towards the Lord. So I understand how things can get very like misconstrued, because it's like, what's like the bigger, like, I love that you're like, we're all doing these things and there's bigger heart behind it. But like at the core, if the root isn't of that, it's going to get pushed around.
Yeah. You know, the more that time goes on, here's where we'll end this topic. The more that time goes on, I used to really want to believe in this grand conspiracy that there was like this like set of elites that were pulling the strings and they were in control of everything. And like they all met at the Bohemian Grove and like worshiped some owl, and Hillary Clinton and all these weird people were there. But I don't know if it's that organized.
I think things do come to light, like the Epstein stuff. Like, I don't know how long these things are held secret. I think there are a lot of secret things, but most of the times I think they come to light. Like
meeting Tom, like, and listen, conspiracy theorists, I'm an ally. Like, I'm open-minded. I've been the biggest ally on this podcast. But meeting Tom Hanks.
Ally of
who? Just whatever's going down. I'm just here. I'm here for it, and I'm against it. Like when people thought that you covering your eye on that ad was an Illuminati, I was like, no. Well, now I'm questioning. Dani might be Illuminati. She might be a plant in this marriage.
I'd never tell you.
But for me, it's like, I used to want to be like, yeah, there is an Illuminati, but we're totally not in it, you know? But now I'm just like, I don't know.
Okay, I get it. Things that make you go, Just recapping trip in London. We went to, we stayed in a place called Estelle Manor, the most beautiful place I've ever stayed in my life. I can't even believe a place like that exists. It was like an old mansion that was like built in the 1700s that was renovated multiple times and is now a hotel. It's kind of like staying at a summer camp where you can sign up for archery or shooting or horseback riding or gardening. Like there's so much you can do, but it's like a bougie camp.
Yeah, it's cool.
I got a bullseye on my first shot.
And your third.
And my third. I had 3 shots. First and third, I got bullseyes. Like the third shot, I literally just went through my first bullseye. It was so amazing. I was so good at it that I was like,
Babe, you're a Texan.
I know, but I was so good at it. Like I beat Jordan. Like Jordan did 4 shots like you weren't even close. It was amazing. It was amazing. I can't believe myself.
Yeah, you did great.
It was very cool. So then we spent, that was the English countryside. That's the Cotswolds.
Yeah.
Beautiful place.
If there's anything that you're going to do in London, learn this from us. Churchill War Rooms. That's the number one. I mean, he's a Freemason, clearly, but number one thing you have to do.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
It's basically like the underground bunker where Churchill lived with his wife and all of like the leaders in the military, not military. Yeah,
the war chiefs.
The war chiefs, where they lived and basically planned the war, like made all those decisions, and it was like 6 feet underground. Like it was just crazy.
My recommendation is that you go to the Churchill War Rooms and then you watch the movie. What's it called? The Darkest Hour.
Yes.
Where Gary Oldman plays Churchill. It's like, that was a powerful night for us. That was so cool that we did that.
Yeah.
Just the 1-2 punch.
We literally were just like, today's episode is brought to you by Dreamland Baby. We have spoken about Dreamland Baby on De-Influence a ton. But for the mamas, dads, grandparents, or any caretakers out there, this is a product that you absolutely need to hear about. Dreamland Baby is the brand that brought us the weighted sleep swaddle and weighted sleep sack. The way you feel using a weighted blanket and how it helps take your anxiety down is how it feels for your baby. It's been such an amazing addition to our household, and it's one of my number 1 most recommended products for any new parents out there. The weighted sleep swaddle is for your newborn. I learned about Dreamland Baby a few months into having Stella, so we started with this weighted sleep sack for her, but Stratton started with the weighted swaddle. The easy-to-use built-in swaddle band makes swaddling a breeze for you and your baby. And best of all, the Dreamland weighted swaddle can be worn 3 ways, both arms in, one arm in, or both arms out, to effortlessly adapt to your baby's changing sleep needs and provide them with the security and comfort they deserve, just like a hug. They can then transition to the sack once they're ready. Head over to dreamlandbabyco.com and enter the code Dani at checkout to receive 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. This offer is for new and existing customers. For this topic, our producer is going to show us a viral video going around that we want to get your live reaction to as parents. The video has more than 3.6 million views, and it has everyone crying about how cute it is. Is it of my children washing the dishes? Because, I mean, that was pretty freaking cute.
Why are you sound so exhausted? Monday. Let's start with farmhouse red flower with a lovely cream cardigan and open toes sandal. Oh, this is
You have to do this with Stella.
varsity. Lovely pair of blazers. Wow. You love those. Thanks. Next, I like to... Yes, indeed. I like to call it citrusy denim. Cherry berry,
Sherry Berry.
matching red sweater, and loafers.
The accent is what makes it.
Son. So I'm wondering about both. Which one is the pick for the evening? Oh, wow. Excellent choice. So, not of all on varsity. Let's shake on it, okay? Farfalla. Formaggio. Brunello. Gelato. Cioccolato. Bravo, amore, papà.
Oh, change your mind. Relatable. That's really cute. This is very cute for so many reasons. First of all, Jordan, you have to do this with Stella.
I know. I feel like I try every morning.
The funny thing about Jordan is you have to understand the dynamic between me, Jordan, and Stella. Jordan and Stella are the same person.
Yeah, we are.
They
It's
are
hard.
so particular, and they are so organized, and they are so on top of things. Like, and me and Bubba are just blowing through life by the seat of our pants. Like, we're just happy to be here. And every night when I put Stella to bed, because Stella likes when I put her to bed, and then Bubba likes when Jordan puts him to bed. Every night that Jordan I put Stella to bed, he's like, please pick out her outfit. And I'm like, ugh, really? I have to pick out her outfit on top of like trying to get this toddler to sleep in her bed. But we have to lay out all the perfect shoes. And he's like, not only pick out the clothes, but have her buy-in, get her buy-in. Because if you pick out her clothes without her buy-in, it ain't gonna happen. But so I feel like you should do this because you understand the importance of like planning ahead, and like that can be like y'all's thing.
Yeah, just to be clear, the only reason I also get her buy-in is because she won't change her mind in the morning.
Yeah.
You have to get her buy-in in the morning.
Because she changes her mind.
She changes her mind. And then honestly, like, and I think you've experienced this too, we will spend an hour with her picking out her outfits. And it's like, no, I want to change my shoes.
Yeah. She's so particular.
So particular.
That video is so cute. You're doing it next. Well, what a fabulous episode. We've been speaking for an hour and 20 minutes. Feel free to go follow us on TikTok and Instagram. The Instagram is De-Influence Podcast, and the TikTok is De-Influence Podcast. And we just had our first video hit over 1 million views. We're making it big, guys.
Gen
if
Z.
you're missing out on our TikTok, we actually have some really funny clips over there. Especially if you miss an episode, it's a good way to get like a recap. Okay, well, we love you guys, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.